One.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Christopher Woodburn, and this is an all-new episode of Schmoedown All Access. I got a kick-ass panel with me today. Introducing first to the world, her debut appearance, hopefully one of many. It is Rachel Silvestrini. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chris. Nice to see everybody.
And next up, we got a recurring character. He comes on pretty much every week. He is the King of Hearts. He runs the IG League and Jack of all Trivia, James Shimo. What's cracking, bro?
Ain't nothing but a thing. It's Sunday. I'm ready to talk some Schmoedown.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, he is one of my favorite people, period. He is Caleb Boatman. What's up?
Nothing much. I'm happy to be here. I've kind of been a little sporadic and missing a couple weeks, but I'm glad I'm going to be able to be here, so I'm happy to talk about the Schmoedown.
Absolutely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we had I'm gonna kick this off first. You know, we had some birthdays in the Schmoedown world over the past few days. I want to wish a happy birthday to Alex, the intern. He doesn't just hand out canes; he celebrates birthdays. Also, the commissioner of the league, Mr. Thad Williams, and Dorian Parks, who was quite the dancer, if you guys didn't already know. So I want to wish them, all three of them, a very happy birthday. Hopefully they had great days, and best and well wishes to all three of them. So our first match of the week, we had three matches, due to last week's, unfortunate passing of John Schnepp, R.I.P. Schnepp. We love you. We do this for you. We had a Monday match. We had KO Mike Kalinowski taking on Mark Donica. And this was a very interesting match. Kalinowski's been wreaking havoc on the Schmoedown world with this whole corruption thing, amongst other things we'll get to later. But in the first round, Kalinowski was off and running. He got 9 out of the 10 questions correct. His one miss was because he mispronounced and didn't spell Frigga right. And he had a little problem with this, but I don't see why, because, like I said, he not only spelled it wrong, he pronounced it incorrectly. It's Frigga, not Phrygia. And then also a couple questionable misses on Donica's part. How do you not know that Paul Rubens played the Penguin's father in Batman Returns? I thought that was common knowledge. And then on question 10, Kalinowski, he got bailed out by a Donica repeat. They asked who played Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, and he thought they were talking about the original. So he had Elias Koteas written down, but that repeat saved him, and he was able to change his answer to Stephen Amell. And Kalinowski was up 9-5 after the first round. Rachel, I'll kick it to you. What were your thoughts going into this match, and who were you wanted to win in the first round?
Well, I mean, Kalinowski has been so laser focused as of late. As soon as he turned into the whole corruption deal, he has been, I know for a fact that he has been studying everything incessantly. And so he's a little scary when it comes to the inner geekdom right now. Like he knows what he wants to do, and he is taking the steps to get it done. And I was kind of rooting for Donica. Donica's kind of my kind of guy, even though he was in the Lion's Den, not a big fan. But Donica, the Paul Rubin question, sometimes those little nuggets of truth and knowledge that you think you have down pat just kind of float away when it comes time, when the lights are on you. So I totally get missing that. But he did come out and say that he was having kind of an off day a few days later, and I totally get that. But Kalinowski is intense. He's scary. He's focused. He's somebody that you really do need to keep your eye on in your review mirror as this competition continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb?
Yeah, going into it, I thought that Kalinowski was going to take it because I think he's, as Rachel said, He's been on. Your name's Rachel, right? Sorry. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I worried I got it wrong. All right. Sorry. As Rachel said, Kalinowski, he's kind of been on fire, like the last couple of matches, and I think especially since he's turned heel, which I normally root for the faces. He is one of my favorite heels in the game, and usually, mostly, I root for him because I just think he's such a good heel. But yeah. I'll admit, I was a little disappointed in Donika's performance in that round because I thought he would have done a little bit better, just from what I've seen from him in the past. And I saw the Facebook post where it seemed like, he had some stuff going on, and I feel bad about that he went through that. But Kalinowski, man, what a killer first round! Like that was a great first round for him.
James?
Yeah, just echoing the sentiments of our panelists. And, Caleb, don't feel bad about not remembering Rachel's name right off the bat. It's like getting a new transfer kid in school. You're not expected to remember it right from the get-go, but I'm sure time will come. Yeah. Don't worry about it. No disrespect to Rachel. Like I said, I'm here to make jokes most of the time. It's all in good fun.
I come from a big family. Answer to hey you. It's fine.
Nicely done. That reminds me of when I used to just people watching the mall. I just yell, "Hey, you with a shirt," and just count heads as they turn around. Anyhow, yeah, exactly. But back on topic. Kalinowski, like they've said, has been just absolutely just dialed into exactly what he wants to do. So I'm not surprised he did as well as he did. And even then, in my reaction, I had started writing Elias Koteas as soon as I heard Casey Jones. But then when they said Out of the Shadows, like, oh shit, and then I just started erasing and then going back, and so yeah, I could see how easily that would have played into Mike's headset, but or mindset. There we go. But when it comes down to Donika, yeah, I mean, any given Sunday or any given day you're involved in the Schmoedown, there's an element to where, and when it comes to trivia as well as anything else, when you're trying to zone in on something, you've got to be able to push all the other stuff that's going on for the rest of the day, out of your head. Being a theater actor, like we would come into rehearsals or we would come into the shows and say, okay, whatever happened before you got here doesn't matter. Whatever happens to you after this doesn't matter. You've got to be able to focus on this. And sometimes it's a lot easier said than done. So I could see how some other stuff going on, whether it was personal life or work related or whatever, could have been definitely playing into Donika's head, which is why he wasn't nearly as on point as he usually is in these matches. But overall, like I said, I think it was a solid round by both guys. I just felt like Kalinowski, like I said, laser focused, and he knows what he wants to accomplish. I get a good feeling he wants him and Rachel in that finals, and he's going to do whatever he has to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been on a mission, and like I'm not going to jump ahead, but he said something in his post match. It's like, he's changed the Schmoedown, whether he won that match or lost it. He has changed the Schmoedown, and for better. And to go off something you said, any given Sunday, I want to improve upon that phrase and say any given Schmoedown, anything can happen. But yeah, all right. So going into the second round, Kalinowski deferred to Donika. Donika spun Star Wars, and he elected to stick with it. And I mean, he did the best he could. He went 2 out of 5. Got 2 points. Kalinowski, he went 2 out of 3, got 3 points on steals. And then Kalinowski, he spins Heroes, didn't keep it. You would think, unfortunately for him, he spins Opponent's Choice. Donika gives him Harry Potter, but Kalinowski kicked ass, answering all 5 questions for 8 points. And I mean, the match was over. Kalinowski smoked him, got his second KO in 2 tournament matches. I mean, James, what were your thoughts on how that second round played out?
Look, even as a Star Wars fan, I'll admit there are certain pockets of knowledge. Like there are certain types of questions that I won't know the answer to, like specific names of like types of creatures that haven't been discussed, like whether in the movies or anything, that you have to do research later on. Like, what was the one question in I think it was the Iron Man match between Knapsack and Witwer about the cat-like creature that attacked Padme in Attack of the Clones, the next suit. I wouldn't have known that. I would not have known that at all. But yeah, I mean, and especially with Star Wars having its own category, a lot of those questions in just the general Schmoedown, as well as Star Wars specific matches, are going to start getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So you're going to run into more of those. Even then, I felt like there were some questions that Donica should have had down pat that I just rattled off my head like it was second nature. But then you get to Mike's end of things, and not a lot of people would think he would be an expert in Harry Potter, but it's obvious the guy's been doing his homework, because he just rambled off those answers. Even when he had to go to multiple choice on the questions that he needed, he still was able to isolate exactly what he needed. And that's the key to any good Schmoedown competitor is, the more than likely, if they give you 4 choices in multiple choice, you can eliminate certain ones you absolutely know are incorrect. So that's why, like, especially with like questions that ask for like years or like numbers of things, it's hardly ever worth it to go to multiple choice, because all you're going to get are numbers, and you're like, well, crap, is it this? Was it this, or could it have been more? Could it have been less? Or was it this year? Or was it the year before? Or the year after? So there's so many different ways they can trip you up. But he was laser focused. He did his studying, and he got the KO, second in a row. What else can you say?
Yeah, Rachel.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I consider myself a Star Wars fan, and when they first started doing Star Wars questions, I was like, I know everything. And then as the seasons have gone by, those cuts are getting so deep, they're scraping bone now. Like they're pulling from like things that you have to read the credits for.
Yeah, or the visual dictionaries or stuff
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
names that aren't even like mentioned in the actual movies that are like, what's the guy behind Darth Vader playing the game? Like you don't know. You have to like go back and research all of this, and it's insane. So I mean, but again, Donica had a rough day, and there were some that he should have known that he didn't. But once you get rattled after that first round, not ever having competed, obviously, it's gotta shake you, and it's gotta, knock you off your balance. And I think that that's exactly what happened. He just couldn't get his footing anymore. And then he thought that he picked a weakness for Mike, but Mike has been so on point that I hate to say it, I don't think he's got a weakness anymore, which is insane. Unless they throw in probably like a Disney wheel or like a Disney wedge. Like, I don't know if he will have a weakness on that. So it's going to be really interesting. But he saunters into this match just kind of like, I have this, and he pulled it out. And second KO in a row, like that's never been done before. Like, is he going to go for the turkey? Because that would be amazing.
It's certainly possible. Caleb?
Yeah, when Emma Fyffe had her match against Jay Washington, she had the option to go Star Wars, and she didn't, because she made the observation that at this point, the Star Wars questions are getting so deep cut at this point, as the other panelists have said. And I think really, unless you are a player in the Star Wars League, and a good one at that, I think it's not wise to go Star Wars at this point. I think at this point, you just can't go Star Wars because the questions are just too hard. As far as Kalinowski's performance, wow. I mean, that was, I kind of echoing what Rachel said. Kalinowski, I don't think he has a weakness anymore. I think that Kalinowski's just coming strong, and I think he's going to give a tough challenge to whoever he plays next. And let's face it, it's probably going to be Rachel versus him at the number one contender spot, probably. And I think that's going to be really tough for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, something I want to add now, not to say that they don't necessarily get too deep cut with the Star Wars questions, because some of them are. For me, like, I found a few, like, I would have did better than Donica did. I mean, maybe I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than him, but I'd like to think that for these inner geekdom matches, they'll try to throw in some easier questions in there that may not necessarily be put into a Star Wars match. Because, I mean, the Star Wars match is specific to those players. They're supposed to be the hardcore fans, whereas within IG, maybe, their Star Wars isn't as high on their radar. So I like to think that maybe they're not going to get quite as deep cut as often.
the counter argument I would make to that, Chris, is how many of those type of Star Wars questions can you ask before you start repeating yourself? Because there have been so many of those Star Wars questions, and how many people are going back watching tapes of the Schmoedown, really just trying to bone up on their Star Wars knowledge. How many of those competitors are going to go back and watch those matches to where if they end up repeating one, it's just a slam dunk for them every single time? You don't want to run into that situation too often, especially with a category as broad as Star Wars can be, with the level of the how big that galaxy can, expand, especially with newer movies coming out year after year after year, and novels and things like that. Like, there's so many different layers to Star Wars that you can only stay at face value so often before it starts getting repetitive.
Well, as of right now, they're only asking for the movies, but I agree with you guys, because you have a belt for Star Wars specifically, and you have Star Wars always in their geekdom matches, so it's always, the questions always going to be harder because they're asking more and more questions. So you really got to know your stuff, because he knew his stuff. He just, those questions were pretty deep cuts, and that's what happens when you have two Star Wars type of formats, with Star Wars matches and an IG. Those questions are getting harder and harder in Star Wars.
Well, exactly. On that topic, I mean, we're getting a new Star Wars movie every 6 months. So the surface level questions can keep coming every 6 months. It's just that they keep going back to the original trilogy, and we've exhausted those. And then they go back to the prequels, and we're really close to exhausting all of those surface level questions. So we're working our way through the new movies now. And I mean, it's still going to be exhausted at some point, but I think that they're running out of service level. Although it does raise the question that if there is a solo, like if there is a belt for one category, should it really be in the Inner Geekdom League? If that's what they're focusing on and like taking all of those questions, I mean, in my heart, the answer is yes, it should be in the Inner Geekdom League, but they're rating all of the questions for that one belt.
Valid concern.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so a couple other things I want to mention. Shameless plug here. Not too long ago, me and my co-host Haven Pendergast, we recently interviewed the Beast William Bibiani, and he was talking about he'll be at the desk anytime they ask him, and in this match he was. So that was awesome to see. Also in the post match, Ken, he comes out to Kalinowski, thanking him for everything that he's done in the league. And then also, we'll get to what you guys talked about. Donica, immediately after the match, he ran out of the room. I was baffled by this. And he made a post on Facebook earlier this week saying, I mean, they filmed this match quite recently, apparently, on that Wednesday, and he explained that, his head wasn't completely there because of the situation with Schnepp. So, I mean, I will give him a pass for that because it is certainly understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys, any of you guys, you thoughts you have about any of that?
I mean, Schnepp going, I mean, I was at the Collider offices during the taping the Friday before everything was really bad, and everybody was very, very shaken, and it was a really emotional time, and it was hard for everybody to focus. So I completely get that, and I know that Donica and Schnepp were close. So I don't fault him at all for being thrown. But I did kind of laugh when I noticed that he had grabbed Mike's jacket as he ran out the building after the match. I was like, that's really funny. But yeah, I mean, it's been a rough week for everybody, and I mean, we're all just gonna have to come back from it. And I mean, I'm sure Donica will pick himself up by the bootstraps. He's got Ken. He's a Knight of Ken now, I guess. And we'll see how that comes along. But I mean, Ken throwing his support behind Kalinowski, not shocked one bit.
I think that Ken could be trying to recruit Kalinowski to the Knights of Ken. I think that's a possibility, because
yeah,
I could see that happening. Whether or not Kalinowski would go for something like that, I'm not sure, because I feel like he's out for one person only, and that's Kalinowski. And we threw a happy birthday out to Thad Williams earlier, the commish, as we'll call him, or commish, as I'm going to put it, because let's face it, right now, Kalinowski's got his balls in a jar on the mantelpiece. Let's be fair.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he's got on him. I don't know where that story's going, but yeah, I will say, all I'll say is that Chaos Kalinowski strikes again, and it is going to be very interesting to see how the inner workings of this Inner Geekdom tournament, as well as the Anarchy Ultimate Schmoedown tournament, pan out as the weeks go on.
Yeah. And then also, in a post-credit scene, we got Andrew Guy, Champ's Lunch. I killed the GOAT. Mark Riley. They come face to face, and apparently sometime soon, don't know when, we're gonna get Andrew Guy taking on Riley in a singles match. I mean, I gotta say, after Guy beating Merle, I gotta say, I'm going with Guy in this match. As great as Riley is, it's been a while since he competed. I'm a big fan of his, but Guy could very well win this match.
Oh, bandwagon jumper now.
Oh. What? How about you guys? What are your thoughts on that match when it does happen?
It's going to be hard blows. It's going to be a match. I think it's going to be more of a competitive match than the Merle Guy match ended up being. Just because Riley has been around everything more than Dan has. But I think it's going to be a really, really good match. Like, grab your popcorn, kids. Like, this is going to be a show. Sit down. Let's enjoy this.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure who's going to take that, because Riley, he was once just an amazing player. And like when we saw him last, the free-for-all, he didn't do that well. Now, the free-for-all, that's, anything can happen at the free-for-all. But, Andrew Guy is coming off of that Merle match where he could take this. I'm really not sure if Guy just kind of got lucky, or if Guy is, on a path to the top, really. And also, just quick thing, August 28th is when the Guy versus Riley match is going to happen.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Christian made a post about the upcoming schedule. What was it, yesterday at about 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So, yeah. But as far as this match goes, I don't know. I can't call a winner right now. I think it's too early to do that. Guy could obviously have one of the greatest games of his life, like he did against Merle. Riley could have an absolutely horrible game. All I know is Riley's going to fight like hell because he's got some payback to dish out, because Guy's partner Bateman stole his dog. Let's not forget. So he's going to be out for blood, damn it.
Yeah.
Can I just say something real quick? Guy is not lucky anymore. Like, there were matches in the past where he was pulling things. He was pulling a Makuga. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
That is not the case anymore. If you rewatch the match with Merle, like, that kid is sitting on so much knowledge now. Like, every question that Merle missed, he was like, oh, no, I know that answer. I know that answer. It's not just that he spun the right section on the wheel. Like, he knows his stuff now. Him and Bateman are getting dangerous. And it's these next few months, if everything plays out, it's going to be interesting. But calling Guy lucky, it's not what it is anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Guy, Merle's 5-pointer, Child 44 with Tom Hardy. All right, yep. So if that about covers everything for Kalinowski and Donico, we can move on to the next match. On Tuesday, we had the amazing Mara Kanopik. She was coming off her win against I'm blanking on who she beat. I forget. I'm sorry.
Coy Jandrew.
Coy Jandrew. Yeah, thank you. And then we had Emma Fife, who she was coming off her victory against Jay Washington, and Emma, she was quite the surprise in the first round. I mean, everybody knows I love me some Emma Fife. Fife Club for life. But I was I wasn't expecting Emma to be winning the match after the first round, but she was up 6-5. A couple noble things about that first round. They both missed Sabotage with the theme song from, Star Trek Beyond. I'll be honest, I missed that question as well. The best I could come up with was Savage. And then Emma on question 5, she missed Benjamin Bratt, played Tom Lone in Catwoman. I can see why she want to put that movie out of her head because it was horrendous.
Don't we all?
Yeah. But yeah, Emma was up 6-5. Caleb, what were your thoughts going into the match in the first round?
Yeah, well, I thought that, in that Coy Jandreau match, Mara had a fantastic performance in that. I thought she played so well, and I think everybody kind of agreed with that sentiment, and everyone was just so surprised that a newcomer could play that well. So I was expecting her to, frankly, crush Emma Fyffe, who Emma Fyffe, I think, is a fantastic manager, and I think is a solid Inner Geekdom player, but I thought that she was just going to get destroyed, and that isn't what happened. I was pleasantly surprised with how well Emma did in that first round, and I thought Mara would have done a little bit better, but, sometimes it just doesn't quite go the way you wanted to sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that first match against Coy, she got 8 out of 10. So
yeah,
she took a little bit of a dip in this match. Yeah, Rachel?
Mara scares the daylights out of me. She is so calm. Like, her first match felt like it was her 20th. She was so poised and just so like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then she kicked Coy to the moon and back. Like, poor Coy. But yeah. I mean, she is a superstar. She is absolutely somebody that when I watched, I literally sat up and paid attention. I was like, who is this girl? I did expect her to have a more solid first round, but she's like a steam engine, like she doesn't speed off straight out of the gate, but once she gets going, you cannot stop her. And so I knew that once she kind of like got back into the saddle of things, and I agree with Caleb, Emma's a solid competitor. She's a great manager. But the fact that she made it to round 2 against Jay was not shocking, but I didn't see her coming any further in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I will be honest. I didn't expect Emma to win this match, and we'll get to that later, but I was surprised that, she had the lead after the first round.
Oh, yeah.
James?
Yeah, I don't think anybody would question. We all expected Mara to have the lead going into round 2, and obviously the inverse happened, which is crazy to think of. And obviously we all know, Chris, you will never stop marching to Emma's fife, if you will. That is the last bad pun I swear to God I will make in this show. No promises. But anyway, God. But the fact is that going into round 2, like I said, we all expected Mara to have the lead, and it shows that no player is infallible. Let's be honest. Everybody's human. We all have those brain fart moments. I've had them. I'm sure, Chris, you've had them doing whether reactions or Jack of all trivia matches or anything like that. It happens. We're all human. Let's not kid ourselves. But yeah, to see Emma really hit a good stride in that first round, it kind of made you think, is this going to go to round 3? Is this going to go to sudden death? How is this going to pan out? Now, obviously, that wasn't the way things ended up working, but it was a very solid, competitive, at least first round, if nothing else.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the second round. Mara spun first, and she gets MCU, and she kicks ass. She got 4 out of 5 correct for 7 points. And then Emma, she spins DCEU, elects not to keep it, then goes and gets Marvel, and this is where the game really, her fate was sealed. She got 1 out of 5 for 1 point. Mara was able to capitalize 3 out of 4 steals for 5 points. And I mean, Mara was in complete control at that point, 17-7. A couple of them questions that I could not believe. I love you, Emma, but how do you miss what a human vampire wannabe is called. I mean, I knew that on without multiple choice, but how you don't know familiars? She gets freshman. That was I couldn't believe. And then who becomes Green Goblin in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? Like, it's Harry Osborn. Like, come on. You got to know those types of questions. They are too easy to miss. So, yeah, I mean, Emma just, she fell apart in that second round. James, what were your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I mean, once she hit Marvel, or once she hit something that wasn't either Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or what we know Emma's strengths are, she started rearranging deck furniture on the Titanic. Let's be straight up here. Yes, some of the ones like I'll be honest, I guessed Freshman 2 when it came to Blade. I haven't seen that movie in, I swear, 20 years. I have not seen it since I saw it in the theaters. So sue me. But like when it comes down to it, like there's certain, like especially if you're not a fan of certain properties, you're going to push those movies further out of your memory, even if you've bothered to see them in the first place. And Emma even said so in the post. Like, I'm not a fan of the X-Men movies, and she got a handful of questions in that round that were based around the X-Men. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're just not a fan of something, or if you don't gravitate toward it, it's gonna come back to bite you in the tuchus, and that's exactly what happened here. And when you get an inner geekdom great white shark like Mara is, as soon as she smells blood in the water, she is going to pounce. And that is exactly what happened here. Sucks that it had to happen to Emma because, like I said, I think she's a great person. She has a fun personality. She brings a lot of energy to the inner geekdom. She's just a very bubbly person. So, you know, I want to like her. I want to, you know, root for her, but there was no way. And it sucks to say that, but yeah, she was dead on arrival for this whole match.
Yeah. Caleb?
Yeah, Mara is, you know, a beast in that second round. Both times she's just been so good in that second round. When she got Star Trek versus Jandrew, she did super well, and this was no exception. She was great. Yeah, that X-Men stuff really threw Emma off, I guess, because I'm a big X-Men fan, so I did pretty well in that. But you know, if you don't like those movies, you don't like those movies. So what are you gonna do? But yeah, overall, Mara crushed it. She kind of restored my faith in her a little bit. Like I always had the faith in her, but in that round one, I was like, is this kind of a one-hit wonder, that Jandrew match? And she was like, nope, I'm here to play. I'm still as good as I was. And yeah.
Crisco?
I say, did we lose him?
I think
we may have lost C-Dub there.
All right, well, I'll continue anyways.
Yeah, I was saying, go ahead, Rachel, until we get our host.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I don't know if I would call Mara a great white shark, because great white sharks are just all killer instinct. And I do not think that that's the case with Mara. Like, she's super sweet. I mean, she gave Emma Zac Efron after the match. No girl does that just because she wants to. But she just has this knowledge that just like seeps out of her. She's just like, I know this. But if Emma's really wanting to be a competitor in the Inner Geekdom League, she knows what she needs to do. She does it with the Shirewolves. She does it with Mark. She trains them. And so the fact that she didn't seem like it trained for this, because she does have that gaping hole of the X-Men and Marvel and stuff. So it's very much, she knows what she needs to do. And I think she was very focused on the Shirewolves and Mark to just kind of be like, meh. Like she would have been competing against Rachel. Nobody wins. Like she's not at that level. So I think that she just kind of knew and just focused on her team just to keep them going. But yeah.
Fair enough.
I thought it was an interesting match. You know, I know Christopher loves Emma, but at the end of the day, Emma was a straight loser. and Mara was just way better. Like, she walked in the match confident. She didn't really care about the first round because she knew once the second round and third round started going, she was going to kill it, and that's exactly what happened. She knows her stuff. She's not there just to sit there and talk. She sits there to play and win, and she's doing that, not like Emma Fyfe. So I thought it was, I thought going into the match, it was pretty one-sided, and the outcome was predictable.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, I was having a little technical difficulties, but I'm back now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Mara, she was up 17-7. You know, she picks her numbers 1, 8, and 16. Emma goes with 7, 4, and 12. Emma's 2-pointer was the category weapons, tech, vehicles, and I can't remember. I can't
Magical
finish the rest of that. Oh, thank you. And her question was, what is the name of the sword that Bilbo gives to Frodo in the Fellowship of the Ring? She, of course, knew that. It was Sting. Then Emma's 3-pointer category, Back to the Future. It was what song is played when George and Lorraine first kiss in Back to the Future. She didn't venture a guess, and I mean, I didn't know this answer either. It was Earth Angel. So Mara, she gets the 17-9 TKO victory. Yeah, I mean, the match started all fine, but it got ugly quick. Emma, I still love you. You're like Rachel said, you're a great manager. Fife Club for life. Yeah, Caleb, I'll bounce it to you. Your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, overall, despite ending in a TKO, that was still probably one of the better matches that did end in a TKO because it was entertaining the whole way through. That Earth Angel question, I'll admit that I thought that one was kind of obvious. I mean, not for everybody, but I've seen Back to the Future so many times that I knew that one right away. But it's different strokes for different strokes. There's some questions like that Blade question you found obvious. I did not know that at all. So, you never know.
Yeah. Caleb? I mean, so James?
Honestly, Caleb's the one with the glasses. Let's focus here. Yeah. But Earth Angel. Oh man, like I said, everybody remembers Johnny B. Good from that movie. Seldom remembered as Earth Angel, which to me is an underrated song that when it comes to that soundtrack on that movie. But yeah, I mean, honestly, she put up a fight. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle with that 10-point deficit. Nobody's ever come back from something like that. At least not from my memory. It's not in the Inner Geekdom. Definitely not in the singles league. But yeah, I mean, it hurt to see it happen because, like I said, I think Emma Fyfe's a great person. She's got a great personality. She's, just a fun. She seems like a fun person to be around. She's good. She's good for the league. She's very much a positive energy, which, especially in the fan community, is sorely lacking in today's day and age, especially if you go on Twitter. But overall, like I said, it was to be expected going up against someone like Mara, who has, like I said, just that she was much like Kalinowski when it comes to the game, laser focused, dialed in every second, does what needs to be done, gets the hell out. She has that nice bubbly personality and that that sweetness to her when the game's not going on. But like I said, once the bell rings, bam, and like I said, it was a wrap from moment one. And I think Emma probably knew that. She knew she was fighting an uphill battle today. She knew it was going to be difficult, and I don't know. I doubt she expected to get much further than this because while she will admit she enjoys the Inner Geekdom stuff, she's not the best all-around competitor. But yeah, I think she did her best, which is all the more anybody can ask of her. And yeah, the obvious outcome was the obvious outcome. Nothing more to say.
Yeah. Rachel?
I mean, there's really not much else to say. Mara is a beast at the league now, and Emma's great. Emma is somebody that I think that new competitors to the league should face because she does have a depth of knowledge. She is a good competitor. She's smart about when she uses her multiple choice and when to just kind of wing it and go for the two. So I think that she's a really good kind of like training post kind of competitor. But I mean, even she said it, that even if she got any further and she faced Rachel, there's there's literally no coming back for that from her. You know, she knows that she's not at that level. And Mara might be, which makes the next match between Mara and Rachel that much more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Emma, she probably was, you know, satisfied enough with defeating Jay, who has been her nemesis, and getting in the second round. She probably was satisfied with that.
Is he her nemesis, though?
I mean, in his mind, he is.
I adore Jay,
I mean, she's beaten him several times, and her clique has beaten his clique several times. So yeah, kind of is. I mean, it's a one-sided rivalry, pretty much, but yeah. I mean, even Jay was he was at the desk for this match, and he was still throwing shots at Emma.
Yeah, but he does recognize
he throws shots at everybody.
He is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a begrudging admittance from him, but he knows that she's good.
Yeah. And something I want to mention, I didn't say at the beginning. Maria, her entrance, it was I liked her entrance. She brought out that Zac Efron cutout, and then at the end of the match, she gives it to Emma, and Jen Sturger, she didn't seem to care for that Zac Efron too much, saying he looked too sweaty. I mean,
it's such a creepy stand. Like, they keep it in a corner in the office, so like you see him out of the corner of your eye, but you don't really acknowledge. Like, it is creepy. I don't know who put the wig on it, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
I just love Jen Sturger's line at the end of that interview. Can somebody get him a towel, please? Jen Sturger, you are awesome.
Can we do a shout out to Jen, because she's been killing it?
Oh hell yes!
Oh my god, I adore her.
With much respect to, you know, whether it was Brienne or Emma or Grace back in the day, Jen it has evolved into the best interviewer. Period.
Yeah.
Oh, hands down. Like, I love it, especially when you can tell, like, when she's dealing with guys like Team Action or like any of the other ones, where she's got this look on her face of, why the hell am I here? And then when somebody legitimately says something hilarious, she's doing her best not to laugh and trying to cover it for the camera. Like, she has come so far as an interviewer, and like I said, she's just a joy to have on screen when it comes to those, because you know it's always going to be entertaining. Like I said, whether it's Action constantly calling her Jessica for whatever reason, and then which is a great running joke, by the way.
Perfect.
But yeah, I mean, overall, Jen, you are so fun to watch. The Schmoedown is privileged to have you.
Yeah,
I can just say that nobody could survive that post-match interview with Makuga.
Oh god,
nobody would have been. Like, I've watched that thing so many times, and I cry with laughter every single time. I love Makuga, and watching Jen deal with him, I'm just like, girl, I love you so much.
Anytime Makuga's on screen, even though I'm not physically in the room with him, I can smell the fireball. It is ridiculous.
I think Jen, does best with Kalinowski. I think her and Kalinowski have fantastic banter. And with that being said, I gotta head out now. Be sure to check out my channel, Caleb Boatman. Keep watching Schmoedown All Access. It's one of the best shows to be on, the best Schmoedown after show there is. And keep watching Jack of All Trivia. I've got, a couple matches on there sometimes. So watch that. So peace out.
Great having you on again, Caleb. Hopefully you'll be back soon, buddy.
Yeah, I'm planning to be on next week. So see ya.
Awesome.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Right on.
Peace. All right, so real quick, because Rachel, I'm sure you probably gotta get out of here pretty soon. We had Kalinowski. He interrupted Mara's post match and told her that you're going to be facing Rachel in the next round. I mean, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on that match? Who do you think is going to win?
Oh God, I mean, it sounds a little egotistical, but I'm rooting for Rachel. I mean, she is just. I know. She's just such a powerhouse, and she is definitely she's one of, if not the most intimidating competitors in the league. Like, she can handle herself on singles, she can handle herself in Inner Geekdom and teams. Like, she is on top of it. Watching Mara though, because she still has this like new competitor's energy, and she's got the fans behind her. and she's on this crazy streak. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think it's very much in vein of the Guy Riley match, where it's just going to be a slugfest back and forth because they both just have so much energy. And I love the fact that they are both just in it to have fun and do their best. Like, there's no smack talk. There's just like, hey, I admire you. You're great. Yeah, we're going to do good. I'm going to try and kick your ass, but if I don't, good game. Cool. Like, it's just so at this level of professionalism and fun and competitiveness that I think some of the guys take to an extreme that sometimes can push the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me personally, like I've said, I'm a huge Fight Club fan. But this is going to be a hard match for me because I quickly overnight am a Mara Kanopik, as she calls herself the Brown Dwarf Star. I am a super huge fan of hers now. I mean, I still love Rachel, but I don't know who I'm going to be rooting for in this match. It's going to be tough to watch because I love both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll be a great match one way or the other. There's no doubt about it. And can we just say, like, it is awesome to see that these ladies are, playing the game with respect. They're not being portrayed as just these catty, backstabbing weasels that we see in reality TV so much these days. Like, that's just refreshing to see.
I mean, I will ride your coattails on that for a hot second. It is, as a female, to see that be portrayed. I'm just like, I mean, I know that it's like, I honestly, I love Rachel, but I don't think that she has it in her to play that kind of character. And Mara's literally just having fun. But the fact that nobody has even asked them to put that into their character, Christian, I love you. Like, it's just refreshing.
Yeah, like, all of the women handle themselves well. Clark, obviously the classy one as always. Rachel, like, they all handle themselves super well, and again, never comes off like these typical reality TV starlets that you see every single freaking middle school and high school girl turning into. It's fantastic to watch. But as far as who wins that match or who I'm rooting for, I'm going to give it to Rachel. And the main reason I'm going to give it to her is, while you say, yes, they're playing it respectfully, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that, we're going to try to kick each other's asses, whoever wins is whatever. The Fight Club is on a mission right now, whether it's Mark Andreyko going up with Ethan Irwin for that shot at Bibiani, whether it's the Shire Wolves going up against World's Finest to get a shot at the team belts. I know for a fact Rachel has wanted that Inner Geekdom title for the longest time. And no offense, Mara, you just got here. Rachel runs here. That's my 2 cents.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, we can, Haven, do you have anything you want to add, buddy?
I think
no? Okay.
Yeah, he's not there.
Yeah, it looked like he popped in for a second, but...
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great match. Two strong competitors. I got the Crusher, at the end, because she's proven herself. She's a gladiator in the ring. No matter what division she plays in, she's super strong. And it would be nice to see her with a strap around her title, or excuse me, a strap around her waist soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, Rachel, are you hanging out for a little while?
I'm good for another like 20 minutes. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. Well, we can move on to our last match of the week. We had Keaton Markey taking on Adam Hlavik. Now, for me going into this match now, Adam is a solid player. He beat Hector Navarro in the first round. Keaton, we've had mixed success. She finished, I believe, in third place in that Fatal 5-Way a few months ago. But then, she beat Rosie Knight. I'm sure we all remember that. And for me personally, I had Keaton winning this match. I just felt like, I mean, maybe it's because, I love her bubbly personality. I thought that she was going to take this, and I mean, boy, was I wrong. I mean, this was an ugly match to watch. I mean, Adam was up 8-1 after that first round. some of them questions that, you know, Keaton missed, like Infinity War is so fresh in everybody's mind. How did she not know that Titan was Thanos' home world? And I'm with Adam. I'm with Adam on this. I don't hate Superman 4. I actually enjoy this movie because it is so bad. I like it. She didn't know Nuclear Man was the villain in that thing. Mark Strong played blanking on his character's name, Frank D'Amico in Kick-Ass, not knowing that. And then on Justice League, guessing Batman and Wonder Woman were the people that dug up Superman's grave. Like, those were bad misses on Keaton's part. I mean, I couldn't believe that. Rachel, I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts coming into this match and that first round?
Oh, that first round was so tough to watch. It was like watching Mike Tyson versus like some kid straight out of high school. It was just bad, but not because Keaton's not good. And that was what made my heart break a little bit, because he is a pretty solid competitor. Like, I wouldn't mind facing her with a Disney match. Like, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, I mean, we all compete at home along with the matches. You know, we all have our whiteboards. We all like have fun with it. And there are some times when your first match, you're like, oh, I only got one? Like, how did that happen? Everybody has an off day. Hers was this one. And when it comes to studying, sometimes the movies that you've recently watched, you don't revisit because you're so busy going back and watching maybe she only got to the first 2 Supermans and didn't watch 3 and 4. Maybe she only had time to watch, Kick-Ass, the second one and not the first one. But she did come and say that she was preparing for Emma. And
well, I like Keaton, but to me, that is a bogus excuse. Preparing for Emma, I look at that as she's studying Harry Potter, okay, or Lord of the Rings. But these are basic questions. I mean, yeah, I knew a lot of these questions. I don't buy the I was preparing for Emma, so I don't know that Nuclear Man was the villain in Superman 4, or Batman and Wonder Woman dug up Superman's grave. Like, I don't think that's a legitimate excuse. I still like you, Keaton, but I don't buy that.
I think that's more of a second round comment rather than the first round. The first round is more along the lines of like like I said, you know, the most recent movies that you watch, you don't necessarily go back into because you think that they're fresh in your mind. So, I mean, Batman vs. Superman, I've kind of pushed that out of my head as well.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a variable of reasons. Sometimes certain movies, even if it's in a run of movies like of the same kind, sometimes they just don't stick. And Eaton found all of them.
Yeah, I agree with that, because you know what? I know, Chris, you're giving her a hard time, but it depends on her age too. Like, if she grew up in the 90s or later, like, or earlier, like, later, like, who actually is going to go back and watch Superman 4, you know? So that, you know, it just depends on when you watch the movie and then, like, if you watch the movie or not. So some of those questions, you might have thought they were easy, but it just depends on the competitors, if they spend time watching those films or not, you know? She probably was studying. I mean, I can Star Trek or something to get in the match, and like, who the fuck cares about Superman 4? Like, be honest, man. Come on now.
I mean, okay. Now, I knew Nuclear Man, but yeah, I do enjoy that movie. And I can understand your point of view on that film, but Infinity War, it's a fresh film. It just came out a couple months ago. And Titan, how do you not know that? And then Justice League was last year in November. I mean, how do you not know that Flash and Cyborg were the people that dug up Superman? I mean, come on. You can't give me a valid excuse for not knowing that. That is as basic level, surface level questions as it gets, in my opinion, anyway.
I can stand. Yeah.
I'll argue this point. Sorry, Haven, don't mean to cut you off, but when you go back and study stuff and things like that, and you're trying to refresh your memory on stuff that's been so far back that you don't remember it, a lot of times that information that's so fresh in your mind gets pushed to the back of the data file. And that's going to happen one way or the other. I mean, I get it. I mean, you can use the whole, prepping for Emma thing. That's more of a round 2 excuse. And I honestly, this is hot take. We all know these matches are pre-recorded and everything like that. There's no surprise here. But I believe what might have happened is they played the match, and then they used the Emma thing for the post and the pre-interviews after the fact to explain why she was having an off game. Now, again, that's just me looking at it from a production standpoint. I have no way to actually back that up. But as far as like missing what we consider to be obvious questions to somebody who's maybe we all honestly know that Keaton is a huge Harry Potter fan, huge Disney fan, huge Lord of the Rings or whatever else. But some of those other things she might not be as big of a fan of. Now, granted, I'm not using that as an excuse. All I'm saying is that's a reason why those questions may have escaped her.
Yeah, just throw my 2 cents in. I'm the comic book league champion right now, right? And one of my first matches was a Thanos homework question, and this was before the movie came out. And I knew the answer, but I blanked on it. I was like, oh, it's I was like, he's the Mad Titan. It starts with a T, and I said the answer, and I couldn't even think about it. Like, oh, so it's like, it just happens. Sometimes it's just a slip of the mind, because if you read comics, you know what that's from. But if that was your first time watching the movie, it might have slipped your mind through all the awe and everything else happening in that too in a 30-minute movie, So if she only watched it once, maybe she don't remember it was Titan. And me as a comic book lover, I know that question by heart, and I still missed it on the comic book league question. So, it's just you giving them too hard of flack right now, Christopher. Sometimes you just miss questions.
Hey, when you're playing an Inner Geekdom, you're supposed to know this stuff. I'm sorry. And then also another question, question 9. How does she not know that J.K. Simmons played J. Jonah Jameson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films? I mean, come on. Like, these are...
There's been like 10 of them in the last 12 years, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of them.
Not only that.
One J. Jonah Jameson.
I hope you never get a question wrong.
All right. Hang on. C-Dub, let me say this. Chris, how many times have you seen an actor or whoever who has appeared in multiple movies, but you never actually learn their name? There's been tons of movies that I can recall where I've seen it. Oh yeah, that's the guy from this, that, and the other. What's his name? I don't fucking know. So I'm like I said, I will give Keaton the benefit of the doubt on that one. Like I said, to Haven's point, I feel like you might be giving a slightly harsher critique than is necessary here, but I understand where you're coming from. Being I'm the guy who runs the Inner Geekdom League here at Jack of All Trivia. There have been times I've had to go back and research. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize this was based on comics or anything like that. So some of those tiny little details can slip your mind in the moment, especially when you're in the middle of a match and you're down by that big of a deficit. That starts renting space in your head to where you're focused so much on that and not so much on the knowledge. You're like, God, I hope I get this question right. God, I hope it's this question right. Missed again. Damn it. So that all of that comes into play here. It's a stress thing more than anything.
Sometimes you're not even focused on how much you're down. You're focused on, oh my God, I knew the answer to that last question. And by the time you realize that, they're already halfway through asking the next question. So you're trying to play mental catch up. So I totally it was just a bad day for Keaton. I feel real bad for her. It was a bloody beating. But I mean, everybody's had really bad matches. I don't think anybody has avoided the that curse.
Right. Exactly. And granted, I know you're not as big of a wrestling fan, but how many wrestling matches have you lost by 0 points? So, I mean, in terms of the action that went down here, it was the equivalent of the lamb getting eaten by the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. I mean, just absolute a goat, lamb, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for correcting me. Regardless, the point is that it was an absolute slaughter, one way or the other. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be too negative on Keaton, because like I said, I thought that this was her match to win. I guess maybe it's because I expected more from her. I wanted her to win, and then that first round, it was just it was tough to watch.
Can I just say one thing about Hlavik? that guy's got a fire in his eyes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He wants it. Like, he wants to face Rachel. He wants to take down Kalinowski. He wants his chance at the belt. So he, not only did Keaton have a really bad day, but he has a fire under him and is driven. And I mean, it was just sad watching that happen at the same time.
I mean, we can go on all day about, Keaton having a lackluster match, but at the same time, Adam kept form. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, he could have had as bad a match as she did, and we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But it's the fact that A, he did so well, and B, she was doing so poorly that just made this, to quote J.R. Jim Ross, just bowl and shoe ugly.
God, I haven't heard that in so long.
Yeah, so let's get into that second round. Keaton spun first. She spins Middle Earth, doesn't keep it, and she ends up with DCEU. She gets 2 out of 5 for 2 points. Adam was able to capitalize 2 out of 3 steals for 3 points. And then Adam, he spins Villains. He keeps it. Goes 4 out of 5 for 7 points. Keaton was able to get a 1-point steal from him. Now, again, Keaton, I like you. How did you think Ice Cube was in Suicide Squad? I'm sorry. How did you think that? Check the multiple choice.
I mean, at least she didn't say Eminem.
Yeah, that's very true. No, never mind. But yeah, Eminem was definitely a good one to go with. But that does bring me to a side note. I've decided that at least one time, if I ever do get to compete in the Inner Geekdom League, I am coming out dressed as the white boy gangster from Malibu's Most Wanted, and I'm coming out to White and Nerdy by Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh my God. Yes. You're talking about Jamie Kennedy?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm in. I will. I want to be in studio the day that they film that.
His character name in the movie is Brad Gluckman.
Right.
Or B-Rad.
Right. Like I said, I haven't seen that movie in forever. All I knew was he was a white boy trying to be black, and that never works out well.
I love that movie.
It's so bad.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of at least as awkward as that is Neil Patrick Harris in Undercover Brother.
Yeah, but Neil Patrick Harris is a gift in anything he does.
True, but it doesn't make him trying to talk black any less awkward. I'm just saying.
No, but it's amazing.
And somehow
NPH.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Right back on. What were we talking?
On Adam's question 3. It was a question that I loved greatly. It was who said the line in The Dark Knight? Do you want to know why I use a knife? Guns are too quick. Adam got that. Heath Ledger's Joker. Yep. R.I.P. Heath.
Absolutely.
I mean, and Adam, he got the dominating victory, 18-4. It was a bloodbath, and Adam, he's moving on. He's going to take on Kalinowski in the next match. Rachel, what were your thoughts on that match? And Adam and Kalinowski.
Adam and Kalinowski is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be very much like the Mara Rachel match, where they're both pretty evenly matched. And I mean, Hlavic's got that fire lit under him, but my money, the safe money, the good money is on Kalinowski. Like we said earlier, laser focused. This is his baby. He's put all of this together. He's pulling the strings behind. Poor Thad. Pulling Thad's strings, making this all happen the way that he wants it to. I mean, it's gonna be a really good match. It's gonna be Titan versus Titan. And I think Mike's gonna take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
James?
Overall thoughts on the match: a bigger bloodbath has not been seen since that elevator door opened in The Shining. But regardless, the fact of the matter is, one way or the other, this Final Four in this Inner Geekdom tournament is a clash of the Titans in with no sense of hyperbole to it. There is a huge amount riding on both of these matches. That being said, to me, the way this finishes up to determine who faces Jason Inman it's got to be Rachel versus Kalinowski. It's the match everybody wants to see. We thought we were going to get it in round 2. Mike says, let me stop you right there. And he just keeps going. And then, he's been positioning himself for this since the beginning. And I feel like it's the only inevitable conclusion. Like, hands down, Rachel, Kalinowski, whoever comes out of that on top goes on to face Jason at the live event. And regardless of how it turns out, I can't wait.
Yeah. Haven, do you have anything you want to say, buddy?
So I think he tapped out after that argument you two were having earlier.
I will say this though, there was another match that was just as brutal to watch, and that was the Rachel and Stacy match.
Yeah.
When Stacy only got 3 points, that one hurt my soul.
Or the at the Collision, Alex Damon versus blanking on his name.
Bruce
Green. That wasn't a match.
Yeah, that wasn't even a match. That was this is a formality. You got the belt anyway. You want to compete? Fine. We'll throw some jobber in there. Who cares?
Because that wasn't even a T-ball match.
No, that wasn't even a coach pitch match. Are you kidding me? Like, good grief.
That was
Haven.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Rachel versus Adam versus Mike in a 3-way match for it because Mike is probably gonna lose to Adam. Adam is a strong player. A lot of people ain't rooting for him because he really doesn't have a character. But I think if he studies well, see Mike, everybody's praising Mike for his KOs, but if you study and you know what the format's going to be before everybody else, he's the one that came up with the tournament. So nobody else knew they were going to play in the tournament. So he's only focusing on one division, which is like 8 movies. So he better win when he studies. So he's won his 2 matches, no big deal. But he's going to lose, and he's going to sneak into the last match because he's a scrub.
Wrong words.
I'll say anybody else tasting a little salt there?
A little bit. And something I want to add now, I don't know who's in charge of does the music at the Collider, comes up with that, but in this particular match, in the beginning of it, somebody put together a really catchy tune that I found myself quite enjoying that I hope they use more in the future. I don't know if it struck you guys the same way, but I really dug it.
At the end of which match?
No, at the beginning of Kalinowski. I mean, the beginning of Keaton and Adams match at the beginning of the vid.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'd have to go back.
It was new music that I had never heard, and I really liked it. I don't know who does the music there, but I give them much props on that piece.
Yeah, I'm really the variety of music that people are starting to come to introduce themselves into. And can I just say, offhand, I'm really glad that now the only time I have to listen to Shipping Off to Boston is if I go to a Dropkick concert.
I'm not going to lie. Now, I was never the biggest Patriots fan, but I hated that song. I got sick of it.
Yeah.
And I love the Dropkicks. They're my babies. They're my boys. I've loved them for years. And when they got first introduced on that, I was like, shit.
Dude, two of my all-time favorite bands, Dropkick Murphys and Flogging Molly.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never even heard of either of them.
Dude, educate yourself, please.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
Yep. Yeah. Did you hear that? That was Rachel's heart shattering just a little bit.
I'm sorry, Rachel.
I'll send you some CDs.
All right, so this upcoming week, we gonna preview these matches. On Tuesday, we got Only Stupid Answers is taking on Scream Queens. I mean, we haven't seen these teams in a while. Me personally, I give the slight edge to Only Stupid Answers. I don't have much else to add to that. James, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think we only saw the Scream Queens in one match so far. Yeah, I mean,
I think they both have only one match.
I think Only Stupid Answers had 2 or maybe 3. I don't know, but because I remember them being announced at least at 2. But just based on report card, I guess I'll give it to Only Stupid Answers just because they've had a little bit more experience.
I mean, don't the Scream Queens work together?
I honestly couldn't even tell you the team members of that team.
It's Haley, and I can't remember the other.
Haley Fouch and I can't remember the other one.
Yeah,
it's escaping me.
I mean, their match was what 3 months ago. I mean, they worked well together, and I think that since they have that match under their belts, you know, they'll perform a little bit better. But I think that they know each other really well, so I think that that might help them too. I mean, Only Stupid Answers is competed, and I know that they're friends with all the guys, so I mean, they might have a slight edge. So, but I'm rooting for the girls.
Yeah, and Only Stupid Answers. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's Sam Basher and DJ Woolridge, right?
I'm gonna say I believe. I don't know. I'd have to take another look into that.
I think I'm right on that. And then on Friday we got the big match. The Shire Wolves, Rachel and Clark, taking on World's Finest. Now, World's Finest, I like you guys, but Clark and Rachel are in my top 5 favorite competitors, period. So, and they're 5 clubs, so I'm riding with them. Rachel, what say you?
I am a ride or die Shire Wolves fan. Those girls are fantastic. They both scare the daylights out of me. Rachel is so quiet and so sweet and so kind and just very respectful. And if you ever, like, I could see Clark snapping at one point and going heel. I think that would be phenomenal. But she has this edge to her. Maybe it's from her horror background. But she is fantastic. Like, they want the belts. That's all. Like, these girls are so focused and so good. Sorry, I keep calling them girls. These women are so good and so focused. And they know what they're doing. They know their trivia. They know how to play the game. They have a manager behind them and teammates that are so in their corner and are helping them all together. Like, they've got this.
Yeah, I love the whole dynamic. You know, I mean, a couple months ago, you know, Clark, she took on Sam for the title, and yeah, unfortunately she lost, but I love seeing that footage of them getting her prepared for the speed round, because everybody knew Sam was a beast in the speed round, and yeah, although Sam, he won that match, Clark dominated that speed round because they got her ready. I love that kind of dynamic.
Absolutely.
And nobody's been a manager like Emma, or that I've seen. I mean, who's a waste. I don't know what Jay gets to do with the Viper squad. Like, I don't see any of them getting together for study sessions or interacting and like really rooting for each other. Even though like Janine is my girl. I love her so much. She is just such a pie. But I mean, Emma is a fierce competitor in the league. She knows the game and she's there for her competitors.
Yep. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Rachel. There is a camaraderie among the Fife Club that we haven't seen with any other faction in the Schmoedown at any point. And I don't know if you've watched any of our previous episodes, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. Tom Dagnino is a prom night dumpster baby who thought he could become a manager in the Schmoedown. That's just the end of it. The fact of the matter is, and again, I say this with absolutely no hint of disrespect whatsoever, but Clark Wolf and Rachel Cushing are the 2 baddest bitches in the Schmoedown, period. There are no 2 ladies who are more laser focused on exactly what they want to accomplish. They know exactly where they want to go. They gel well together. They are a force. Now, do I think they're going to knock out World's Finest? Absolutely not. Those 2 know their stuff. And if they get a category that they really excel at, they're going to do well. I don't think it's going to be a KO.
No.
But I will go out on a limb. I think it's going to come down to round 3, and I've got a very sneaking suspicion Shire Wolves are going to TKO. That I'm calling a Shire Wolves TKO.
I'm kind of hoping it'll come down to the last question. I'm hoping it'll come down to a 5-pointer, to be quite honest, because I know that World's Finest have their knowledge base and they're really good competitors and they know their stuff, but like, I think that they're going to give them a run for their money. I still think the Shire Wolves are going to just tear them apart when it comes to the end, but I mean, I hope it's a really good match.
Right. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it'll be a good match regardless. I just feel like by the time, and again, this is just me, by the time we get to that round 3, either the Shire Wolves are going to have such a big lead that one misstep in that round 3 is going to just completely derail World's Finest, which leads to the TKO, or it's a close game. They're on the verge of taking the lead, and it's something that just escapes them. So again, that's just my bold prediction. I don't know one way or the other what's going to happen because I'm not a member of the Patreon. And unfortunately, they've already seen that match.
Yeah, and something I want to ask you guys now. It's been announced that at the end of that vid, it will be revealed who the Shire Wolves will be actually facing. Well, whoever the winner is will be facing for the belt. Now, assuming it's the Shire Wolves or not, who do you believe the team will be that will face the winner? I mean, I'm at a loss. I don't know who you go with. I mean, you can't go with top 10 again.
No.
So who's it going to be? I have no idea. It's not going to be Action because the Shire Wolves already beat them recently. Who is it?
Well,
it's obviously not the Patriots.
Right, because they're no more. You're right. Because and like we said, Sam has stepped back, so Above the Line is done. So who do you go with? What teams are left?
Is it Critically Acclaimed?
Yeah, but they've only won one match in a row, right? I mean, they won their match this year.
But if we're eliminating top 10, if we're eliminating Action, if we're eliminating everybody else who's already lost,
right? Because we know it's not going to be the Kingsmen. I mean, it couldn't be the Wildberries. Like they haven't done nearly.
Oh my god! Anything. Could you imagine though?
That would be that would be epic. I don't believe it would happen because I mean, what if Elliot and Makuga already said we don't want any belts, just the ones that hold our pants up. We don't need them.
No, but I want to see that match, and all I want.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see
all 4 of them do shots. That's all I want. That's all I want in life right now.
Yeah, let's face it. Any match that the Wildberries are a part of turns into a frat party. That's just the way it works.
But older, so it ends earlier.
Right. So it's the movie Old School, just more pathetic.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just messing around.
And then one other thing. At the end, I guess an additional part of that video is we're gonna find out the team drawing for this whole Anarchy tournament. I'll give you guys you can say, some people you'd like to see paired up. Rachel, I'll go to you first. Like, who do you want to see paired up?
I want to see them take like the top 10 like ranked competitors and match them up with the bottom 10 competitors. Because it just makes it that much better, because if somebody's a little bit weaker in a category, and you never know who's going to be a rising superstar. So instead of pairing like Bateman and Roca, who are like these 2 amazing competitors, like, I don't know, maybe do like Janine and Roca, or do Mara with, I mean, it's a little cliche, but Mara and Merle.
I'll tell you something, a team I'd like to see. Drew McWeeny, Tom Dagnino.
We have
like
to
I said,
I would love to see that.
Yeah, but then you run into the same problem I brought up on the very first episode of Schmoedown All Access we did. Tom Dagnino is a movie trivia knowledge dementor. He sucks it out of everybody else and puts none back out. There's nothing else you could do with that.
Actually, didn't Tom win a few matches back in the day? Like
him and JTE got to the championship match.
Well, Finstock sucks, but Tom actually knows a little bit.
It's slightly. Like I said, I mean, if that was the case, they would have beat the Shire Wolves in the Shire Wolves debut match, honestly. I mean, personally, when it comes down to, I think more or less what we might be seeing when it comes to the tournament is the kind of clash of personalities that you could get from mixing certain competitors. Like, could you imagine if Guy got paired with Merle? Or could you imagine if, let's say, or Riley got paired with Bateman just based on their beef? Like, I mean, you have to be partnering up with a guy who stole your dog. I mean, what kind of nuttiness would that cause? Like I said, Anarchy, like we said, the title of the tournament is Anarchy. And what would cause more anarchy than putting 2 people together who absolutely despise one another to be a team?
Do you think that one team will be kept whole just to stir it up?
No.
I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. But when it comes down to it, I think whoever ends up getting paired together, I think we can guarantee that one way or another, through whatever kind of shady means is going to happen, Kalinowski's going to end up one of the better partners out of all of them. I think that's about the only guarantee we can make.
You might see him. He might team himself up with Mara
or Merle or whoever.
I don't know. I think that he might mend fences with Brienne.
That's a possibility. Who knows?
And I'm glad I have you here for this. Rachel, what are your thoughts? When is Brienne going to use this title shot?
She's been sitting on it for a long time, and she's a smart woman. I think it's coming up really soon. Like, I think she's seeing what's going on. I think she understands what Mike is trying to do to the league, and I think she wants a part of it. So within the next month, I think we see her throw her hat into the ring, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when, after Erwin and Andreyko have their match, she could just jump in there and make that championship match a triple threat.
Damn it, you took my suggestion. Damn it, C-Dub. Like, that's what I was going to say, because could you imagine Bibbs and whoever wins, whether it's Ethan Erwin or whether it's Mark Andreyko, sitting at that table ready to start the match? Brienne comes charging in and says, you know what? I want in on this. I'm cashing in my free-for-all. Let's do this. And just walk it out of there with a title. Like, how epic would that be?
I don't think I think it goes back to, I think that she's smarter than that, because at that point you have to beat two people to get the belt.
True.
So I think that if she does go the single route, I think that she'll wait until somebody gets the belt and then challenges for a #1 contender match.
After the champ's already worn out. That makes sense.
Only facing one person instead of two. Because, I mean, Bibiani is a beast, and whoever wins that Andreyko and Erwin match is another beast. Like, they're crazy good guys. So, like, I wouldn't want to step into that ring. Would you?
Absolutely not. I know how my movie knowledge is, like just general movie knowledge. I wouldn't want any part of that, because that's like walking in between Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm gonna get squished.
Yeah, you're like, guys, calm down. Let's talk about this. No, like, squish, done.
Yeah,
no.
Like,
yeah,
hey,
but
no,
at the same time, though, and this is assuming, and I have Ethan Erwin beating Andreyko to face Bibbs. It'd be kind of fitting, because in that free-for-all, Bibbs lasted 21 rounds. Erwin lasted, I believe, 15 or 16. But Brienne was the person who came in there and beat them. How fitting would it be for her to enter that championship match and beat him again?
It would be a little poetic.
I would say, but how much more poetic would this be? Andreyko beats Erwin, and then a rematch from their very first match in the Schmoedown, except this time it's for the title. Beast versus Android. I mean, there's a story to be told there, absolutely, especially with how hard the Fife Club has been fighting to get belts around all three of their waists.
And I can see the amazing poster now.
Yeah, absolutely. The Android versus the Beast 2. This time it's for the title.
This time they mean business.
Exactly.
Great.
Haven, you have anything you want to add?
Who?
Nope. Okay. Well, I think that about all covers it this week. Bueller. Yeah, I think that about covers it.
I actually do have something to add. I'm really excited to see how. I'm wondering if they're waiting to see if Thad just kind of snaps under all of this string pulling, and he just like shoves the commissionership back at Christian and like leaves like running out of the building crying.
Yeah.
Like poor Thad. Like every time I see him, I just want to be like, I know it's K-Thad, but are you okay? Like,
yeah,
get a coffee.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I don't know if you've watched past episodes, but I've been speculating for a little while now. I believe that Christian is in league with Kalinowski on this whole corruption thing because he wants his commissioner's job back. What chances? What do you think about it?
The possibility of that. I love this. I love this Kalinowski. It makes me so happy. All the post-credit scenes where he's like popping around corners and like sneaking around and like sending these envelopes to people. It makes me it brings joy to my heart. He's great.
It's great entertainment.
It is. And anytime he pops his head around the corner, I just want to start playing the Pink Panther music for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just like doo 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 doo. And it just seems like it'd be fun. But like I said, I don't put much stock in that because, like I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's like the Joker in the Dark Knight. He just wants to watch the Schmoedown burn. I don't know that he's got any other agenda than that, other than putting himself in the best position possible. But yeah, overall, I'm excited to see where it goes, whether Thad finally snaps and runs out of the building pissing himself while he's just crying his eyes out or whatever, or if you see him huddled up in the corner or under his desk in his office with Mike knocking on the door like Drew McWeeny, he's just got a scoop full of Haagen-Dazs going in every couple of minutes. However they decide to tell that story, I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you, whoever's out there watching, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. Rachel, I'll kick it to you first. Your debut episode. Did you enjoy yourself? And where can everybody find you?
I had such a blast. It makes me so happy to talk about things that I'm passionate with people who are passionate as well. So you guys are great. This was so much fun. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at RM Silvestrini. It's SILVESTRINI. Yeah, come join me and talk some Schmoedown and hang out, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, and you're welcome back whenever you want. Just say the word and you are here.
Thanks.
I love your passion.
Thanks.
And folks out there, she also recently had a comedy tour. She is a stand-up comedian, so you can.
No, I was on a Broadway tour.
Broadway tour.
I sold merchandise for Broadway tours. I was just on tour a lot. So now that I am off the road and I actually have my Sundays, I would love to come on as much as I can.
Definitely.
Good deal.
Yeah.
James?
Yeah, you can find me at my own personal YouTube channel, James Schmo. You can find me there doing Schmoedown reactions, trailer reactions, death battle reactions every now and then when I actually remember to record them. You can also find my own show there, Sweating It Out, is one of my tributes to John Schnepp. A bunch of sweaty nerds just get together, geek out over whatever they want. We're actually working on, or at least I'm working on getting an episode together of people discussing their top 10 favorite kaiju movies. So if anybody wants to be a part of that, feel free to hit me up. You can also find me here at Jack of All Trivia. I host the Inner Geekdom Leagues. So Rachel, if you ever want to play, don't be a stranger. You can also find me competing in the wrestling and the movie leagues. And you can also find me every week here on Schmoedown All Access.
Yep. Haven? I hope Haven hasn't completely gone.
Yeah, because we need him to cut the stream off.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, until Haven comes back, hopefully soon, buddy, you can find him on Jack of All Trivia. He hosts the movie leagues, singles division matches, and teams, I believe. You can find him on Haven Pendergast on Facebook. He's not on Twitter, so don't look for him there. And you can find me on YouTube at Christopher Woodburn, Twitter, Chris Woodburn 83, Facebook, Christopher Michael Woodburn. If you do Schmoedown reactions, trailer reactions, come join the MTS Fan Reaction League. You can also, if you want to go check out our interviews with Ben Bateman, William Bibiani, you can find them on the Jack of All Trivia YouTube channel. I can also tease a little something now. I haven't ironed out the details just yet. Tomorrow will be the day, but I've locked down another Schmoedown competitor for an interview. The person was in a match this past week. I will tell you that, but I won't say who it is. So look for that sometime this week. So until this is another episode of Schmoedown All Access. So for Rachel, for James, for Haven, Caleb Boatman, who was here earlier, peace. All right, Haven, are you there, buddy?
And we're still live.
Haven. Oh, God.
Cut the stream, Haven. Cut it off.
Oh, Rachel left.
That's right.
Haven. Oh man.
That's live entertainment, folks. This is what you get.
Yeah,
Ah.
that was fun.
Quit penaltying with the pig and shut this thing off, damn it.
Haven.
I'm sending him a message to cut the stream off.
Oh, Haven.
The sound of silence.
I feel like I gotta entertain anybody if they're still out there watching.
Say, you got any good jokes while we're waiting?
I don't know what to do. Usually, if I'm bored and I just want to entertain myself, I do something goofy, but I'm not going to put that goofy side of myself out into the world.
I say it hasn't stopped you in any of the matches you've been competing in. You were just like rocking back and forth, doing whatever, man.
No, yeah, I mean, that's not goofy though. You used to see the goofy stuff I do when I'm bored and I'm entertaining myself, or the goofy stuff I had at the expense of others doing to them. I don't put that on the internet world. That was kind of the old me, but still somewhat there inside. Come on, Haven, where are you, buddy? We don't want this thing running all day.
Say, no offense to anybody who might be watching, but paging Dr. Faggot. Dr. Faggot. Shout out to The Hangover. The first movie was hilarious. The other two.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the second one, but the third one was kind of meh. But yeah, the first one.
People want to argue about a movie that's a complete retread. I mean, look at Hangover 2 versus Hangover 1. I still say Force Awakens is absolutely not a retread of A New Hope.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of here. I'm going to call Haven.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we all just hang up and just leave Haven up here. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I can come back in if you want me to, just to let you know that I talked to him, or you can leave the stream now if you want. Don't matter to me.
Yeah, might as well just cut it off. Anyway, yeah, it'll just be awkward if his profile's the only one up here and nothing's happening.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep. Take care, bud.
Peace.